this week's episode of Tired and Thriving, a podcast recognizing just how tired and exhausted we all are while discussing ways to still thrive. Whether it's something big like a day trip to a different county or something small like sending a meme to a friend, we're here to help each other thrive. I'm your host, Samantha Gray, and this week's guest is Phylicia Fuentes. Wow!
Hello.
Phylicia is a fashionista who happens to be a storyboard artist in the animation industry, is an illustrator, and lastly, a DJ on the side. Thank you for talking with me, Phylicia.
Wow, I'm so honored by that intro. A fashionista is what you open with? Oh, our brainworm has activated.
I love it. But then to get it serious, like, what brought you into the realm of storyboards and animation?
Well, okay. So, actually, should I do a long answer or a short answer?
I have a lot of questions.
Okay.
Yeah, quick TLDR this.
TLDR. I thought I wanted to be a filmmaker. I was, like, obsessed with cinema as a young person, and I wanted to be a live-action film director. But then I intentionally picked a college where you didn't have to pick a major. So I got in for my drawing and painting skills, but I secretly wanted to do film. But I mean, it wasn't secret. I was able to take those classes. But I did them, and I hated using the light meter. I hated it was a fine arts school, so traditional film, 8mm, etc. It was just not for me. Directing actors, did not like it. And then I took an animation class, and the teacher was like, yeah, you can tell stories, you can make short films, and you do it all by drawing forever and ever in a dark room. And I was like, sign me up.
You're like, this is for me.
This is for me.
I love dark rooms.
I love being in isolation and darkness. But I didn't even really understand storyboarding until way later. I wanted to be an animator, and I got to be an animator for a bit, but many animation jobs are shipped overseas, so and specifically 2D animation, not 3D. Yeah. So I switched over to character design, which was cool, but it's not my favorite. I just don't click with it as well as I click with storyboarding.
Same.
Which is you and I both have an animation foundation, so yeah. I feel like it comes more naturally to us. To
be able to movement and tell the story.
Yeah, but I hate drawing backgrounds.
Oh yeah,
you know that about me. But I do wish still that I could be specifically an animator, but it's just not really the thing. And also, storyboarding pays pretty well.
What? What? It does?
For animation? Yeah.
But then what do you feel is the hardest part of being in this profession?
As a storyboard artist specifically?
Yeah, let's just stay with storyboards.
Okay. It's so hard because you get handed a script and you are the camera, you are the characters, you are the settings, you're everything. You have to think of everything visually. And I always get test anxiety, which I thought when I was in high school or college or whatever, I'd be like, this is the last test I'm ever going to take. I'm never going to feel this dread ever again. But then I get handed a script and I'm just like, oh my God. I open up my file. It's like the vast blankness is overwhelming, and I have to come up with an image now. That's another reason I like animating, is because it's already figured out, and then I just get handed it, and then I breathe life into it, and
you just go, just blow onto the screen, and it's done.
And then everyone's like, whoa, you're so talented. And I'm like, I know.
You're like, right. As an artist, your colors and unique style are always a standout. What do you feel is your inspiration for such colorful drawings and worlds in your personal work?
Oh, what a nice question. Wow, I can tell you really thought about this. I've always loved vibrant colors. On my dad's side, I'm Mexican, and I love the Mexican color palette so much, and that vibrancy is something I'm always trying to recreate. And it's not just that, but that to me is what stands out in my head.
Yeah, it's a big one.
Yeah.
It's what did you say? It's like genetics.
Yeah, it's like genetics. And also, like, now that I'm thinking about it, it's like Latina Heritage Month. And yeah.
I'm a bad Latina.
Don't worry. It's like, it's weird because it's like mid-September to mid-October.
Oh, what?
Yeah, no, it's not one designated month. It's like in the middle of 2 months. It's kind of strange.
That is strange.
But I also want to acknowledge that on my dad's side, I'm also have Panamanian roots, and culturally, it's also very vibrant and colorful. And
Ew.
I think in general, I'm more exposed to Mexican culture than I am Panamanian. But I did get to go when I was 16, and it did have a big effect on me. Also, just like,
was your mind just like, ugh? It was like overloaded?
Kind of. I was like, oh my god, I want to get all these textiles and bags and just like pet them, because there's like embroidery, like they're called molas, and just like stacked on top. I don't know. It's just like texturally really rich and exciting.
Yeah. I love a good texture.
I love a good texture. But yeah, I like picked up some of those and I just loved looking at them. But also, I'm really inspired by 1970s art. Peter Max is like someone that people will say directly to me, but like I don't vibe with his art always. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I feel bad. I've like actually sort of lost touch with a lot of my 70s influences, the names of the artists.
But there's just so...
I'm like trying to remember.
I know, but there's just so many good influences out there. Like so many people, so many things. Like I honestly don't know how you retain as much as you do, because you're also a cinephile and you like an audiophile. Is that like...
yeah, sure.
But yeah, there's just so much information out there. But thank goodness for Google.
Hans Edelman. Oh. I had to look him up. Sorry, that's why I pulled out my phone. I'm not like checking. I don't know. What would I check? I'm not checking Hinge right now. Heinz Edelman. I love his work. Here, I'll show you.
But it's just like, thank goodness for Google, right?
Yeah. Oh, thank God.
Google sponsor me.
But like stuff like this.
Oh yeah. Oh, and he did the Bob Dylan poster, right?
Oh, I think yeah.
Sam here to quickly let you all know that he did not, in fact, do the Bob Dylan poster. I did my Googling after we recorded, and now we have to sit on our proverbial sword. The artist I was thinking of was Milton Glaser. Well, back to the episode, and don't come after us.
I believe so. If I'm wrong and people come at me, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just always... I'm always worried about getting everything wrong and sounding dumb.
But we're risking it. We're putting ourselves on the line.
We're being vulnerable right now. I'm proud of us.
So I wanted to take a sidestep to talk about your comics.
Okay.
I've realized you have been making comics documenting the most vulnerable parts of yourself on Instagram. Mm-hmm. What made you decide to reveal these vulnerable aspects of yourself through this medium?
Wow, these are such thoughtful questions.
I try.
I try. There's certain autobiographical comics that other people have made that have touched my heart in a really deep way, that if I could make people feel less alone, then that's the best feeling in the world to me. That feels like the entire reason I do art, the entire reason I even work in television, because I worked in advertising for a second, and like many years ago, and I left it pretty fast because it just didn't feel right in my spirit. This is not me dissing anyone who works in ads.
This is just for yourself.
This is for me, and okay, focus. Sorry,
I know I like made you lose your train of thought.
Okay,
just for a joke.
Oh, no. Okay, I'm here. I'm present. So, yeah, there was one time where I was like, this is something that animation, I guess, any industry professional, anyone who works in entertainment probably goes through, where we get these, like, crew shirts or crew hoodies or whatever, and then people are like, oh, I like that. And then you can either be like, I worked on it, or you can pretend like you don't know, and you're just like, oh yeah, it's good, and then you don't talk about it because you don't want that kind of attention, which is usually what I do. But there's this one time where I was like super depressed, and I went to go pick up takeout, and I had been unemployed for like 6 months or something, and I was just like, I was trying to switch into storyboarding, and it was kind of a hurdle to transition my skill set in that way. Anyway, but I was picking up my food, and I was wearing a BoJack shirt, and the cashier was like, oh, I love that show. And for some reason that day I was like, oh, I worked on it. And she was like, can I give you a hug? Like, that show changed my life.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And it reminded me of like, oh, this is why I do this. Like, television makes people feel less isolated, and people really connect to it and relate to things, and it touches people's lives in a way, like telling stories does. In a way that I didn't get from like advertising. And so one thing I like about storyboarding and comics is they feel like kindred spirits, telling visual stories through paneling. So when I take the reins and when I'm doing something that I'm writing entirely on my own, I want to make sure it's like worth it. When I'm being vulnerable. If there's other comic ideas I have that are so stupid. Like if I read you like the ideas, they're gonna sound so silly. Like one's like too many pretzels. Like one is called Sleigh Around the Couch.
Oh my God! Wait, but I want these.
Yeah,
I want to see these.
I'm gonna do them, but I will. I swear. But yeah, for the vulnerable ones, also part of it too is like me coming to terms more with my specific mental illnesses, the mental health issues that I deal with. And the more medicated I am, the more grounded I feel, the more I feel brave enough to share these things online without killing myself with like obsessive thoughts of like, oh my God, am I stupid? Am I annoying? You know?
Yeah. One of the topics you've used the comic medium for that has been so moving is, to me, how people-pleasing and masking has caused you so much pain, and how you've had to face these hardships head on in order to feel joy on the other side. Mm-hmm. What would you say is the biggest lesson or a heed of warning or advice you would give to somebody who is going through the same kind of thing? I guess kind of like, what do you wish you knew before or during as you went through these rough times?
Wow. Sam, these are such good questions.
I know. I'm brilliant.
I wish people could see the face you made when you said, I'm brilliant.
It was like crazy. Maybe I should like draw it out.
I'm brilliant. Wow. Okay. I wish I knew that I could ask myself what I wanted. There was so much of my life I put my needs to the side, and I made my partner's needs the absolute priority over my own wellness.
Yeah.
Or just people in my life. Like, there was a period in my life where I didn't know how to say no to anybody. And throughout my 20s, I struggled with chronic illness. And part of it was like, I now believe it to be like a nervous breakdown plus being closeted for many years and not understanding that I was closeted. There was like a lot of times where I'd let people bully me, and even when I was sick, and I'd do things to make them happy. And I've learned over time that if people really like have your back and they really care about you, they're not gonna like make you do stuff. And they're like, people who actually give a shit about you, like they will be patient and considerate, and it's important to do that for other people too. Like, part of it too for me is I got properly diagnosed and medicated because I suffer from like intrusive thoughts and ruminations, and the antidepressant I've been put on has really helped with that. And without that, I just, my brain was wired in a way where it was like, you suck, you know, and like, a really groundbreaking moment for me was when I was figuring out if I was gay or not. And at the time I was married to a man, and it was the lockdown in 2020. I felt like I wanted to crawl out of my skin because I didn't understand like why I was feeling the way I was feeling. And but like looking online, there's something called like the lesbian master document. I found it when I was like trying to figure out what was going on with me, and one of the questions was like, do you like intimacy with a man because you like it or because you like feeling wanted? And I was like, whoa, like that like fucked me up, because I never thought about like what my needs are. In every way. And not in every way, but like many ways. So there's just like a lot of factors and a lot of life that contributed to getting to the point now where I feel like I've established better boundaries with myself and with my relationships, friendship, family, and romantic. Not that I'm in a romantic relationship right now. I'm single, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Ooh. Any single ladies out there?
I'm like, don't perceive me, but also flirt with me, but also ignore me, but also love me. Did that answer the question?
It did.
Okay.
It's just crazy how, like, can you imagine if this was pre-internet? Like, I just imagine that if there was a lady going through the same thing, she probably would have never figured that out and probably would have, like, been labeled as a hysteric and being like, she's just depressed. She's just going through weird lady times, and then, like, sent to, like, a hospital. Like, but
like nervous laughing.
I know, we're like,
good
like,
one.
It's but it was like an actual reality. And, you know, considering that all of these documents, like, nobody still could have figured out that if it could have been that they were a lesbian, and, you know, official paperwork will just be like, they were just crazy. They were just, you know.
Yeah, I'm really grateful for the internet in many ways. Like, with the chronic illness stuff, so much of it I solved myself online, and then would bring this information to doctors and be like, I think this is going on with me. And they're like, oh, yeah. Thanks for doing the work. Because I don't know, there's just, but I'm the type of person, like, I can't just, like, accept suffering. I have to find any possible way to end it and eradicate it and battle it. And so there's so much I'm grateful for. I also think it's like just really important to practice gratitude. I've just been through like a lot of shit, and every day I'm like, man, I love my apartment. I love like my friends, you know, and like I'm so grateful I have like a mom who like really has my back, you know, stuff like that. And it just makes life feel so good when you like actually reflect on these things. I forgot what the original question was.
No, you like added an extra layer to it. So
okay. Cool.
you're like, Felicia's twirling her hair. She's like, just, you know.
I'm like, Libra season.
Well, I just want to gush about you a little bit because
what?
As a friend and longtime fan, maybe a stalker, possibly camping out in your bushes, but somehow convinced you that I have my own place.
Stop it. Stop. Oh my God. If I found you in my bushes, I'd invite you in for cookies.
It's like, you don't realize I like take a little something each time. You're like, but you know, I think you don't know, but you know, and you're like, just like, she deserves it.
Yeah, that's completely our dynamic. Actually, there was one time where I was moving into a house with my partner at the time, and Sam drew artwork of us installing like a rounded window for Sam to peek at us sleeping. So yeah, this kind of energy goes way back. We go way back.
But we've known
each other since 2011.
Yeah.
So we do go way back.
Oh my god.
12 years,
12
baby.
years, 12 years. Lucky 12.
Lucky 12, eh?
8.
And like, just like grandma says, lucky 12.
Well, let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
Okay,
no. I know, we like
I'm listening.
really
I'm content.
gremlined.
Goblined.
We goblined it up.
We ghouled. It's Halloween.
It's Halloween.
Ghoul mode.
It's Halloween month. Whoa. I'm like, okay. Let me finish complimenting you.
Okay. I'm gonna shut my mouth.
I just want to tell you how proud I am of you and your growth as a human being. You've always been a bright light, but each year, the more you've been accepting of yourself, your light burns brighter than ever. And I want you to know I see it and recognize it. It's like ever since you came out, you've been radically transforming. Like when you watch a caterpillar turn into a butterfly with the camera sped up.
Oh, that's so cute. That's so nice.
But yeah, so I'm so proud of you. And but that made me like want me to shift to talking about your latest thrive as DJ Clickbait.
Yeah. That's me. That's
you. So as someone who knows you personally, I've always enjoyed and admired your vast and wide variety in musical taste. I feel like you're one of my friends I always learn about new music from. And
Oh, really?
yeah, and I don't know who I'd be if you weren't sending me like something new or, something new to listen to. Which I'm like, would I be a boring, weird recluse?
No.
Like in the dark hole coming out every once in a while, like
Dude, you introduced me to Kika. Oh my god.
oh, Kika
Gaku.
we were both like,
Wait, no.
Internet, tell us. Oh, Kikagaku Moyo.
Yes, Kikagaku Moyo, a prog rock band from Japan that is so amazing. So amazing. Yeah, highly recommend. Sam introduced me to them. Freaking woo!
Yeah.
Woo!
I don't know if they're like permanently broken up, but right now they're not together.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that's just like a hiatus. Like,
I hope so too, because I missed my chance to see them.
they were okay. Just kidding. They were cool.
They were okay. Just kidding. Usually what I say to people if they miss a show and they're like, damn, I wish I could have gone, I'll be like, don't worry, they'll be back. But they won't be back because they've disbanded. So thanks, Sam. No, I'm kidding.
I'm like, yeah, I just wanted to introduce you to this band so I can yank them away.
You like it? You want to see them live? Well, you can't.
It's like the ultimate blue balls.
Oh my god! Just edging me with concerts.
Just keep it. I'm like, ooh, this band's about to end. Let me just send it to Phylicia.
Stop. Their tour dates are only in Europe. Okay.
Well, okay, so you're like, what made you decide to push your musical interests into the DJ direction?
Well, I was once married, and prior to getting married, I thought about how I wanted the music to be at my wedding. And when I was really, really sick, I would, one thing that will cheer me up, I'll work on my future wedding playlist. And I toiled on it for years and years. And I spent all these years going to other people's weddings, studying their DJ, and figuring out what I liked about them, what I disliked, etc., and just figuring out what I wanted. And then finally, when my wedding day came around, my fucking DJ, he didn't play like anything I wanted. He didn't play any Beyonce. And when I realized the next day, I woke up and I wept. I wept because, like, what the fuck? Beyonce's my favorite. He didn't play any Britney. He didn't play like Shakira. He didn't play. I'm like getting over. I'm like.
It's like
tripping on my words because I'm getting so worked up. But anyway, this fucking guy, like, just,
and like you gave him this list, right?
I gave him a very clear list, and I put stars next to songs, and I labeled, like, what was important to me, what was important to my husband, what was important to, like, my mom, He played the song that I picked out for my mom as the I'm cleaning up, please leave song.
What?
Yeah, like, can you believe that? Anyway, this guy, like...
Disgusting.
like, I'm a divorced woman now, and I have been, but I'm still mad about it. And so I'm taking my anger and my vengeance and all of the studying I did of, like, other DJs, and I'm applying that toward myself, because I'm just like, well, if that guy can just, like, do that, I can do it way better. And so I'm learning the skills so I can just out DJ his ass.
Hell yeah.
But also, on a nicer note, I like I mentioned earlier with my art, like, I want to curate a space that, like, I'd love to make people feel less isolated in every facet of everything I'm doing. So I'd love to curate a space of joy. DJs are, like, DJing is an art form, and, like, throwing a party is an art form. And to do it right and to make people feel, like, safe and happy, and you know, when it hits, it can be transcendent and beautiful and life-changing and spiritual.
Yeah.
And especially in the queer community, that's like such a place of joy that I seek and experience. But yeah, I see that, and I'd love to share that sort of joy with people, because it's really beautiful.
Isn't it just so typical that it was like, isn't it so typical that, like, a mediocre guy
it's
like
true.
cheers up, and then the woman has to pick up the slack.
It's so true. Honestly, it's true. I feel like the most concentrated sexism I've ever felt was when I was, like, throwing a wedding.
Oh yeah.
The disrespect I received from some of the vendor people that I worked with.
Really?
Because, yeah, oh my god. Don't get me started on the shuttle driver. And it's so stupid that I'm still talking about this, but, like, really, like, it had an effect on my life, because I was just like,
I mean,
Jesus.
it's supposed to be the day that you're not gonna have trouble. I mean, obviously, you always hear about wedding shit turning, you know, foul, but still, like, things are supposed to go smooth. And these people literally just, like, you know, cause this emotion in you.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know. I've been disrespected so much in my life, which sounds, like, dramatic, but it's true. And it's one thing if it's, like, I don't know, if it's for free, but then it's another if I'm paying someone a lot of money to, like, just do a thing that I ask, and then
they disrespect you, and they're
sexist to me. Like, okay, so this freaking shuttle driver guy. So I got married in this canyon where there's, like, winding roads, and reception cuts out, and you can't use a map, or, like, a digital map, because reception cuts out. So I printed out all these maps, and I, like, made clear routes and time frames. I calculated how long it takes each way, etc., and I mailed them. And then the night before the wedding, the guy calls and he's like, oh, I'm talking to the detail queen. Oh, the detail queen. Oh. And then the day of the wedding, he left the maps behind. He got lost. He forgot to pick up, like, half the wedding party. And I was like, what the fuck? Anyway, it's just, like, to be like, oh, like, condescending to me. Yeah. And not even into, like, disregard. Like, that makes me angry. But I just want to be clear that these are special cases. I don't go, okay, wait. Cut that. No. cut that.
But it makes sense, because it's like, it's why does this happen, that there are these people, like, just the disrespect.
Like, don't disrespect me.
Especially somebody who's giving you money to do a job.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna, because of a gender, or because they, like, think less of you, or, you know, whatever preconception that they have.
Yeah.
That they're just gonna be like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm not gonna do what you want.
Oh, the little princess asked for this. Well, like, I know better. Actually, you don't. I know better.
Yeah.
Because, like, I know this area, and I calculated how long it takes each way, and I know that the reception's gonna cut out. Anyway, I just want to say that, like, I highly respect service workers. Everyone needs to get paid way more. Fuck capitalism.
And you're like, mic drop. You just push over my mic.
Yeah, this is all because of the DJ thing, and I just went off.
I know, but it's like, I don't know.
But, like, I guess ultimately, looping it back, DJs have power, over the night, over the experience. And I would like to take that and spread joy and not distress, because it's so easy to turn it into a distress situation, not de-stress.
Yeah.
I'm never de-stressed.
I'm always in distress.
Always in distress. Cannot get this stress
de-stressed.
off. That's called Slut Mode. My new single.
Stressed slut.
Yes, it's called Slut Mode, and then in brackets it says Stressed Slut.
I love this persona where I like this direction. Is there a vibe or decade that you're going for as a DJ, or are you still figuring out what your first iteration of DJ Clickbait is going to be? Because I know you did a small concert for a group of friends, and I'm like, I feel like that concert was when you were born.
Aw, yeah, I feel that too.
And then, like, when you were taking your classes, that's when you were a fetus, like...
Yeah.
And so what is your toddler face gonna be?
What? Stop it! Ew! My terrible twos. Well, okay. I've been kind of structuring myself as... I've been calling it, like, millennial bait. I know my name is Clickbait, and I said bait twice. But yeah.
But it's like the underlying, I feel like, because millennials just click.
Yeah, like, I just... Stop.
Millennials click. You click on that bait.
I think nostalgia is so powerful, and there's so much that doesn't get played on the dance floor, like, almost ever, at least wherever I'm going.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear Last Resort on the dance floor. Like, everyone knows the words.
Yeah.
Like, it would get so lit, so crazy, and I want to be the purveyor of that. Sorry, reeling it back, to answer your question, specifically, like, 2000s, early 2000s, I guess, sort of. I'm leaning, like, new metal, pop punk, indie sleaze. That's what I'm focusing on right now, because I don't really hear those that much out in the world. But I want to be, like, able to do many genres, because I've hyper-fixated on lots of music, and I feel, like, pretty well-versed in 70s through, like, at least the 10s. Sorry, I got overwhelmed by my own answer.
Because you just have, like, so much musical knowledge.
I had a flash of, like, the musical library in my brain, and then, like, I shut down.
I totally understand that. We're like, neurodivergence over here.
The next, like, micro set that I want to put together, basically, like, I would love to do, like, a big old set where it's just, like, 10 minutes is centered on this, and then 10 minutes is on this, or whatever. And, like, I've been thinking I want to do, like, an 80s new wave one.
Oh, cool.
And kind of mess with that. And then I want to do, like a 90s hip-hop one. Yeah. And stuff like that. Like, I want to be able to do every genre.
Yeah. Would you do them all together? Would it be, like, this day or night, I'm going to do this one, and then this night I'm advertising for this kind of vibe?
I guess it depends on what the crowd would be made up of. Or, like, if I was to do an event for somebody else, like a party or a wedding or something, I would want to work with what they want. Yeah. And then...
you don't want to just, like, be like,
just
I know
hijack it, and play Pitbull, but not even the good Pitbull. Because that's what some fucking guy did at my wedding.
Yeah, I was not on the dance floor.
I know, and I picked out songs that were, like, special to my friends in college. It's fine. Because, I'll have another chance to get married one day, but not anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be locked down for a while.
But it's, like, I feel like, actually, now that we're talking about it, I'm, like, I think you're going to heal this trauma and this, this slight against you by, being the DJ that you wanted for your wedding.
Yeah, and it was so fun to...
Oh my god, wait. And then I'm like... And then you become a shuttle driver.
Stop it! Stop! Oh my god, I'm gonna blow out the microphone by screaming at you.
And I always come up with these dumb jokes with you.
Driving is hard, and
we already... You're, like, actually concerned. You're like, let me tell you why it won't work.
I mean, no, it's just like, in LA we drive a lot just to get anywhere. So professionally, I don't know. I just know it's a grueling job.
Yeah. And I mean, but back to your DJ career.
Right. So many tangents. So many.
How do we get back on track? Yeah. Do you think, when do you think you're going to be ready for your next little micro performance or?
Okay. So my current goal right now. So yeah. I got to like shadow and get notes from like my favorite DJ. He's so cool. And I just got notes from him the other day, and I was watching him do his set, and I was really taking in his transitions, because that's still something I really need to work on, and looping and stuff like that. And so I basically want to continue making little sets at home, and just sets that are about approximately 10 minutes long, and just sort of work on the technical aspects of it, because the playlist and like the song curation part of it is something I already like really love doing, and that to me is like the fun part. And the part that I'm more nervous about is like fucking up in front of people.
Yeah.
And so because music is an art form where it's just like anything musical, it's like it happens in the present, and if there's a mistake, it's just out, and it's just there. So I would like to reduce the likelihood of these mistakes and things happening. So I just want to keep practicing, and also just like but I need to play more in front of people. I need to, I guess, start booking gigs. I don't know. But I don't know. I think I'd like to practice, I think, for maybe like 2 more weeks to a month longer before I start trying to hustle myself.
Yeah. Like start being like, sorry, I just like thought of you having a photo shoot, and I think it'll be really cool to do a DJ photo shoot. You just be like, DJ, and like doing one of your micro sets and just having those pictures there. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's jumping and screaming for you.
And I play my hit single, Stressed Slut.
Distress, de-stress, no time to
undress. Yeah, I think maybe November I'm going to try to hustle myself a little bit on that front. I have to just start doing it now.
Yeah.
Because if I wait till I'm exactly perfect, then like nothing's going to happen.
I mean, that's how it was with this podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, you need to be perfect. And then it's so crazy how, because especially since we've known each other for so long, we have known each other in our perfectionist stage.
Yeah.
When we were in our 20s and being like, no, we have to do this perfectly. This animation needs to look perfect.
Perfect. And then nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Nothing.
We don't get due rewards. Like,
exactly.
No, we're like, did you see that flourish? Did you see that hand motion? And it's like, I feel like me and you could see it.
Oh,
and then other people would be like, it
we're
looks...
going to lose it in animation.
They're like, cut it. Like,
on that note, I'd like to address that I'm a longtime member of the Beehive. I'm pretty deep in Beyonce stan Twitter. Not as a poster, as a student.
Oh God, I thought you said poser.
No.
Because I was like, you are not a poser. I know how like deep you are.
I should maybe remain a poser on Beyonce stan Twitter. But Beyonce's mother, Tina, also shared this on her Instagram. But it was a side-by-side cut of Blue Ivy, Beyonce's daughter, performing at the Renaissance tour.
Yeah.
And it showed her first performance and her final performance. And her first performance is like, she's probably really nervous. She's like kind of stiff. But her last performance is like so fluid and confident. And it's like, that's a thing. I mean, it's like so silly of me to like bring it to Blue Ivy. But it's like, that was a good visual representation of like, you just have to start doing it, because as you do it, like you just get better.
Yeah.
And you get more used to it, and you gain more confidence.
Yeah, definitely.
So you just have to like throw yourself out there and fuck up.
You have to be like Blue Ivy.
You have to be like Blue Ivy. And you have to
Nobody
be a
else
freaking
have
legend.
done that.
Ivy League.
Ivy League. But no, that's a great visual example. And you just know that their family, because her parents are such huge performers, you know that they were like, we have this experience. We know it's like to start. You just have to do it.
Yeah.
Ugh, to have parents like that.
I know. There's all these jokes that are like, oh. Well, like, there's like footage of Blue Ivy like emotional crying at the last show. Like not like heavily, but just like a little bit.
I mean, that is emotional if you're like, I just went on tour for the first time.
Yeah, but people were making jokes like she's crying because she has to go back to school.
Well, for funsies, is there anything recently or in the past couple years that you would say has made you really passionate or brought passion back into you?
Yeah, I started learning electric guitar a year ago, and this is the month where it's a year since I started doing that. And
congratulations!
Thank you. I just want to say it's a hard instrument. Electric guitar, freaking hard. I mean, guitar's hard, but electric guitar is like all the stuff. There's so much stuff you can do with it. Effects,
I never thought about that.
Things like that.
Yeah.
But it's also easier to press down the strings because they're softer.
Yeah.
Than an acoustic. But yeah, I had done so much talk therapy in my 20s, and I felt like kind of hit a wall with it. The next therapist I seek would be a specialist in like ADHD or something, but they're unfortunately quite hard to find, and also like I'm not working, so I can't even afford that right now. But instead of that, I decided to try something new, and I started learning guitar, and I would go to a class with my teacher at his house every week, once a week, and it was like amazing, and it was really healing. And it's, you know, you and I draw for a living.
Yeah.
So drawing for fun can feel like work, and it sucks, and it's heartbreaking because you just want to draw for fun for yourself, and it's like, well, I'm exhausted because I drew all day. So guitar was such a refreshing change of pace, because drawing can feel like work, which kind of is a bummer. But to have a creative outlet that was not drawing, it's like I mentioned with the DJing thing earlier. It's like music is it of the moment. Drawing, you can toil on it in private and then like share it whenever you feel like it. But music, it's just like it happens in the now, and it's like a different kind of pressure that's exciting. And but thankfully, it's like I'm not playing guitar and learning guitar to make money off of it. That's also another freeing.
Or to like perform, or do you plan to perform?
No, I don't plan on performing. I just plan on playing for myself.
Sorry, I like got a dumb idea.
What? Tell us.
You're gonna be one of those people that go to somebody's house. You're like, oh, is that
stop?
Is that a guitar over there? But the funny thing is that you brought the guitar. You like planted it there at a friend's party, and you're like, oh, is there a guitar? Oh, let me just pick it up and play a little something for you all.
I like bring the stand and everything. Whoa, what's that on the corner? Whoa. Anybody want to hear something?
You're like, let me just and then you have to do the tuning thing, even though it's like perfectly tuned. But you like, let me just make sure it's tuned up.
And then you only hear the first part of Stairway to Heaven like a couple of times in a row. I'm just kidding. I'm not learning that song.
But imagine it's only like every time there's a party you do the same thing, and it's always the same fucking
ding,
song.
Ding 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 ding. Yeah. Yep, that's me. That's me desperate for attention.
You're like, I'm not a performer. I'm not a performer.
I'm just like, look at me. Like, you know, if people want to hear me, I'll do it. But like,
but it's like not like you said, it's not a profession you're seeking. This is more just like therapeutic for you.
Yeah, it's just for spiritual satisfaction. But, you know, I might record myself later and like post it online one day or something. But like, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy.
Yeah. You were talking about how music is such a, I guess like, you mentioned it, and I just want to bring it back to this aspect of like seeing music live and having this, even a good DJ set that is using other people's music, but it's still live and there's like a vibe and everyone dancing. Something about that is so, I don't know. I was talking with a friend about it because we were talking about classical music. Mm-hmm. And in a way, I'm like, whoa, big brain time. In a way, I feel like orchestras or bands are like a DJ because you're taking somebody's composition and then you have to like play it out the way they've written it out. Mm-hmm. But no matter how much you hear it, obviously there's going to be some people better than others, depending on practice or skill level or whatever. But when you hear it, it still can incite such a response. Like the fact that we can still listen to live music of Mozart, who's been dead for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Like that guy's dead.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. But the fact that it's still so moving, and the fact that we can like listen to it live.
Yeah.
It's how I feel that DJ sets kind of like, that's so crazy to think that that's kind of how it is now. Because you're not going to, like, the difference with classical versus current, but I guess operas, I don't know, because opera has singing.
Yeah.
I would think classical doesn't have as much singing, but yeah, current music is so tied to the artist's name because there's so many creators that DJs can take that and then promote them or, like, keep that energy alive for people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're like curating an experience for people.
Yeah.
And yeah, music is it hits in such a way that you apply your own experiences to what you're hearing, and it can be so powerful, and it can get you through so many like intense times. And I was thinking, like, so my sister and I, so she took me to this amazing screening of the film Stop Making Sense. It's the concert film of the Talking Heads that Jonathan Demme directed. Anyway, she took me to this awesome screening where Paul Thomas Anderson was like interviewing excuse me, I'm not a fake fan. I know it's just Talking Heads. There's no the. It's just Talking Heads.
This is like very California of us, though, I think.
Anyway, I go to a lot of Q&As whenever I can because LA is so special for that.
Yeah.
Like, you just have access to all these creatives, like, in round tables and stuff like that, and accessibility is just so cool.
Yeah.
But the way Talking Heads had to, like, exit out the back and, like, immediately get into a van because they were, like, mobbed by fans.
Wait, was this at the screening?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, there were people who couldn't make this, like, couldn't get into the screening that were just hanging out in the back waiting for them. And it made me realize that musicians experience, like, a different type of fame than I think any other type of entertainment professional. Because, like, music touches people's hearts so intensely, and you can, like, take it with you anywhere, and you can, like, fall asleep to it, and it's just, like, it can feel so intimate, and it can, like, be a cornerstone in certain periods of your life. And there's something about it. I just was noticing that, like, musicians really hold a power. But yeah, I was struck by how strongly people reacted to Talking Heads exiting. And it made me realize that, yeah, the experience of a musician or anyone that's like curating a musical experience can provide is very impactful.
Yeah. I mean, even with the DJ that you shadowed.
Yeah.
That was so impactful for you that you were like, I want to learn from him.
I mean, that's, yeah. I don't know. Every time I've done something vulnerable like that, it's been so scary, but it results in, like, really nice things.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially in the queer community, vulnerability is met with so much love and kindness. And in the past, I've been vulnerable with, like, I think people I was probably crushing on but didn't understand I was, like, other girls.
Yeah.
And write, like, a huge long email, like, oh my god, and, like, be vulnerable, and then, like, it ghosts. Because, like, I think that can be really scary for people, but there's something about coming out of the closet, being openly gay. It's you have to be vulnerable to do that. And every time I've done something vulnerable within the queer community, I've been met with so much kindness, and it's really it makes me feel like I belong, and it's really beautiful.
That is beautiful. I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
Said through gritted teeth. I'm so happy for you.
Oh my god. That sounds so beautiful. No, but that is really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Since I have to start coming to the end, in the vein of funsies, is there a random animal fact you can tell me?
Oh, Okay, wait. Give me a second.
Sorry to the listeners for I've been having very bad allergies today. So sorry if you hear me sniffling. I'm going to try my best to edit around it and not have that in there.
Well, I think you sound like a beautiful angel.
Wow.
All right. So were you aware that there's a Wikipedia page for United States presidential pets?
No. What?
So I think like every president except for two have had pets, and often many pets, and they're often really weird. And so there's so many, like, I really, if you have the time, I highly recommend looking at this list on Wikipedia. It's the most fascinating thing in the world. When the lockdown happened in 2020, I discovered this and had a great day learning about all these. One of my favorites is that Andrew Jackson had a gray parrot named Polly who learned how to swear, and she later attended his funeral but had to be removed due to loud and persistent profanity.
That's amazing.
So that one cracks me up. Also, I like this one. Martin Van Buren had 2 tiger cubs, and they were a gift from the Sultan of Muscat and Oman, but Congress quickly forced him to donate the tigers to the zoo, which I love that Congress had to step in.
Yeah, he was like, no, these are mine.
Like, that's so crazy. Calvin Coolidge had so many pets, so many, but my favorite is Rebecca the raccoon. She was intended for a Thanksgiving feast.
What?
But the first lady was like, no. And she had a tree house built for Rebecca. She has her own Wikipedia page. Here's a picture.
Oh my gosh. Rebecca looks beautiful.
Big fan of Rebecca, but she, like, ran away.
Understandably.
Because she's a raccoon.
Yeah.
And they wanted to eat her.
Even though she had her own tree house, she was like, this isn't for me. I can't be caged.
It says, Rebecca came from Mississippi. She'd been sent to the White House to be served for the 1926 Thanksgiving dinner. Since the 1913 death of Horace Vose, the traditional provider of the White House Thanksgiving turkey, numerous farmers had been angling to provide the president's Thanksgiving meal, and despite Coolidge's request to stop in 1923, the unsolicited gifts continued and became increasingly unusual, with the live raccoon being the furthest out of ordinary. Coolidge, who had never eaten raccoon and had no appetite to try it, kept Rebecca as a pet instead. For Christmas, an embroidered collar was made for Rebecca, inscribed with the title White House Raccoon. She enjoyed participating in the annual White House Easter egg roll. She was fed shrimp and persimmons, and eggs were a favorite. Rebecca was let loose in the White House and could be walked on a leash outdoors. At times, she could be mischievous and was known to unscrew light bulbs, open cabinets, and unpot house plants. First Lady Grace wrote, "We had a house made for her in one of the large trees with a wire fence built around it for protection. We kept her chained when outdoors, but in the house she had her own liberty. She was mischievous, inquisitive party, and we had to keep watch of her when she was in the house. She enjoyed nothing better than being placed in a bathtub with a little water in it and given a cake of soap with which to play. In this fashion, she would amuse herself for an hour or more."
Holy crap.
Isn't this insane?
This is America?
Yeah, welcome. I just want to mention that Rebecca...
Wait, then when did she leave?
Okay. So I'll keep telling you about Rebecca. During a White House renovation, Coolidge brought Rebecca to his temporary quarters. When the Coolidges took a vacation, they brought Rebecca along in a basket together with 2 of their dogs. The dogs' names were Rob Roy and Prudence Prim, as well as 5 canaries on the 1,800-mile railroad journey. In preparation for leaving the White House at the end of the president's term in 1929, the Coolidges donated Rebecca to zoological quarters in Rock Creek Park in Washington, D.C. However, Rebecca failed to adapt to zoo life and died. Oh, no!
No, not Rebecca.
Oh, it was Rebecca's companion. Excuse me. So, a companion for Rebecca, Reuben, a male raccoon, was acquired by a White House police officer. Reuben frequently escaped, being recovered by White House staff. However, he ultimately disappeared without a trace. Grace Coolidge wrote about the incident. Let me do a voice. Rebecca had lived alone and had her own way so long I feared she was a little overbearing and dictatorial, perhaps reminding her spouse that he was living on her bounty. Afterward, Rebecca continued to live in single blessedness. When Herbert Hoover moved in, a wild possum moved into Rebecca's treehouse, and they named him Billy Possum.
Wow. Wait, so Rebecca died in the zoo?
Yeah, she died in the zoo.
That's so sad. They were like, well, bye.
Bye, Becky. Anyway, it's not facts about what animals do, it's facts about specific animals.
That's cool, because I learned today that there was a raccoon in the White House living there.
You could spend a whole hour on that Wikipedia easily,
Oh my God.
because it's so funny and fascinating.
I'm just more upset that they were like, oh, term's over. We're not keeping you, Rebecca. Even though you were amazing. Even though you were like belle of the ball. We treated you like a princess. And then they just were like, okay, the zoo.
I know, they brought her in a basket on a train, which sounds insane.
They were like, we're downsizing.
And what was it, like 15 canaries? Something like that.
Ew, it was a lot. It was like
Too
more.
many.
It was one too many.
Too many canaries.
Too many.
Don't bring that many canaries on a train ride.
No, thank you. Okay, so as part of the show, I'd like to pull out a tarot card for the episode because maybe you'll think, hey, this is what I needed to hear today. Or just something to keep in your back pocket to reflect on in the future. Phylicia, we are using her cards. It is a vintage
Rider Waith?
Rider.
Wait.
Rider Waith? Is that how John F. Kennedy would say it? Rider Waith. I don't know. I can't
Rider
do-
Waite.
Rider
Wait.
Waite.
I always want to add an H. Rider Waite? Okay.
So this is a vintage Rider Waite deck.
This is my mom's old deck. Okay. There you go, Bing Bang.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna choose one. Oh, Page of Pentacles.
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah?
Is that good?
I don't know.
I'm just joking.
Is that good?
Is that good?
You're the...
We're just like,
You're like,
is it good?
oh my god, is that good? I don't know. Do you tell me?
Well, I like to ask, what do you see? What do you see right here?
So what I literally see is a fella with a fancy red hat holding a singular pentacle. He's the page, and he's standing on a nice grassy field with trees and mountains and a river in the distance. And it's like kind of, it looks like it could be either sunrise or sunset, but it's like very pleasant. It's a very pleasant appearance.
Yeah.
It seems a bit hopeful.
Yeah. I think it's because Page is kind of like the beginning where it's like the start of something, almost like the Ace.
Okay.
But instead of Ace where it's more creative idea starting, you're at the point where you're like starting to, you're new in implementing the idea. You like
Okay.
need to gain that experience to implement it, but it's still promising and it's good. Especially because he was upright, and like Phylicia said, he is standing on this bountiful, well, it's he's on a beautiful field, and also in the background there's this farmland you can see on the bottom, and it looks freshly plowed as if the seeds have been planted. So yeah, I think whatever idea that you have been working on and that you've been working towards, you're ready to start it, and you're ready to tend to it, and you're not at the bounty yet, obviously, but you're like in a very good position to get there.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I'll take it.
That sounds nice. I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm planting a lot of seeds right now.
You are, yeah. And like, yeah, like I said, you've already gone through the initiation stage, and now you're in the implementation stage,
Cool.
but in the beginning of it. So
That-
it's like,
I
yes,
feel that.
you're probably going to make mistakes, or, you're going to fumble through it, but you're going to learn.
Oops. Uh-huh.
And yeah, so I hope that helps any guest out there. Well, thank you so much, Phylicia, for being here and talking with me. Is there anything you want to promote about yourself? And is there somewhere you want people to find you or follow you? to keep updated about anything you're doing?
If you are extremely wealthy and feel like being the patron of a singular artist, hit me up. Or if you are in the LA area and you need a DJ, Clickbait's available.
Ooh, woo, woo.
Woo woo.
Sadly, we are at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy this podcast, wait. Sorry.
If you enjoyed this podcast, wait.
Wait, did you say? I know you were like. Did you give anything? Did you give anything? Did you give? Wait, did you give an Instagram or anything? I forgot.
Oh, yeah. My Instagram is at Philville, PHYLVILLE. Twitter's dying. Just follow me on Instagram, I guess. Or hire me as a DJ. If you love millennial no, I can do it all. I can do it all.
Yeah, you can. But give her a month. Well, no, when this airs.
When this airs,
She's ready.
I'm going to be ready.
She's ready.
From when we're recording this, I need a month more practice. But when this airs and you're hearing this, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to DJ your party.
Let me DJ your party.
I'll make it special.
Oh my God.
I will make it so you don't hate me.
Whatever you need.
I'm here to serve. And to serve.
Again, sadly, we're at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoy this podcast, please follow, subscribe, all the things. You can also follow Tired and Thriving on Instagram at Tired and Thriving, all one word. You can email if you want to reach out, give feedback, or let me know maybe how you've been uniquely thriving at tiredandthriving@gmail.com. Thank you again, and I hope you all have a thriving week. See you next time.